Hey, everybody, welcome back to the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. We are very pleased and proud to be part of the Variety Sports Network. And of course, the show is originating from the Bradshaw Bourbon Studios. Salute. By the way, congratulations to Terry Bradshaw. He was honored at his alma mater, Louisiana Tech. With a really nice statue down there, and he was there for kind of the unveiling, and pretty cool stuff. And so congratulations to Terry, and hello everyone that is jumping on the show right now. I have already received text messages. In fact, I got one an hour ago from Melvin, and he said, "You guys going tonight?" And I said, "Yeah." And so I get back the Judge Smales "Well, we're waiting" GIF. So well played, Melvin. Well played. And so anyway, great to see everybody. We got a victory on Monday night, and at the end of the day in the National Football League, that's all that matters. But I am going to continue last week's tradition of giving everyone about a 30-second rant.
Only 30.
Well, I let it go a little bit, especially if it's good.
All right.
So in other words, I'm like, what's his name on the Gong Show? Chuck Barris?
Chuck Barris.
Yeah.
He was also a government assassin, if you believe that.
Yeah. That's a whole other podcast. But anyway, Scarps, I am starting with you tonight. Because I'm telling you right now, man, you have been spitting fire since Monday night, and I think you've got a lot to say, my friend. So whenever you're ready.
This team just annoys the shit out of me in many different ways. And if not for our outside linebackers who did a wonderful job, we would be 0-2. And for those saying a win is a win, yes, but 1-1
is better than 0-2.
It's better than 0-2, but this team is so terrible. This offense is garbage, except for George Pickens. The coordinator sucks. The quarterback sucks.
Talk about that, Vinny.
The revamped O-line sucks. Our cornerbacks suck. Our inside linebackers suck. We are garbage, and we did not deserve to win that game. But you know who didn't deserve to win that game even less? The Browns.
Love it.
Yes.
Ian, go ahead.
All right. There is no selection committee. There is no AP poll in the National Football League. A win is a win any way you can get it. It wasn't pretty. There was a game against the Bengals back in, I think it was 2008 or 2010, when the defense scored 14 points and we won that game as well. I think the defense scored 14, the offense scored 9, and we won. It was 23-9. But at any rate, a win is a win. We got it. The Browns suck. The Cleveland is still Cleveland. And, this game was always going to be decided by which pair of outside linebackers played better. Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, or TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. And one of them, the stats nerds think, played better. The other one produced 2 touchdowns and 6 sacks. So take your pick.
I mean, is pass rush stat really a valid stat?
Hold on. Are you done with your rant, Ian, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Very good.
For now. I'll rant more later, but for now, that is yes.
Okay. All right. Ben, please do.
Okay, well, we've already hit the highlights here. A win is a win. I agree with Ian. As Mike Tomlin puts it, it's better to learn lessons while you're winning games than while you're losing them. It's a lot more enjoyable. But 2 things ail this team, okay? Just fucking get it done. I'm not going to sit here and point it. Yes, the offensive line is terrible. The defensive line has not been playing their role. The inside linebackers, I'm sorry, I'm not happy. I'm not. Even Quan Alexander, dude, you looked like you were going to light the world on fire in the preseason. So far, not that impressed. Kind of wondering why, Robertson's not getting any snaps. Robinson, excuse me. But what this team needs to do, 2 things to right the ship. Run the fucking ball better and stop the run. They've given up 188 yards and 198 yards in back-to-back weeks, and they can't run the ball for shit. If they fix those 2 things, just those, They've got a chance, but they got to fix that, and they got to do it quick because they got Josh Jacobs next week, and he had 9 carries for -2 yards last week. The Steelers can't stop the run. You know they're going to try and get him going this week against the Steelers, given the fact that they're playing a soft defense that can't stop the run. They are.
Yeah, no, I agree. When you look at that schedule and you see how poor Jacobs has been, especially last week, I think he was minus yardage.
He was 9 carries for -2 yards.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to try to get him going.
Yep.
You can say what you want about Josh McDaniels, but he knows how to play the Steelers. He's done it many, many times before.
Fuck that guy.
Well, there's going to be a lot of fuck that guy tonight. I can tell you that right now. But be that as it may, got the win. We're 1-1, and now we go to Vegas. We'll talk more about that game in a little bit. Ian, let me ask you, what is the number one problem in your opinion related to why is the running game not working? And I know it's far more than just saying the O-line stinks. There's something that's going on or not going on.
All right. Since our friends in the chat love it when I give a huge nerd answer, that's what I'm going to give. The blocking scheme is way too complicated. They're not just lining up and blocking the guys in front of them. You've got guys pulling, you've got guys going this way and that way, you've got guys running into each other. They need to simplify things up front. And I feel like I've said this each year, the last 3 years, like right around this time of year, that they're trying to do stuff that's way too complicated. And they got it together last year. So, right. I know Pat Meyer can coach, and I think they can get there, but you've got, only one new piece this year, really, as a starter. Only one new piece is Sayamalu. Right. But whatever they're running up there with, take that third and short play where you've got guys pulling this way, Darnell Washington coming back around. It was just a mess up front in front of Pickett, who's running some kind of read option with guys running every which way in front of him.
But I thought running Darnell Washington on the counter was actually a good idea. It's just Pickett didn't actually hit the hole like he was supposed to.
It was, but it's way too complicated up front for the level of success they're having. If they were having more success, you can run that kind of stuff, but you need to have baseline success of line up and block the guy in front of you.
That's a pretty simple counter, man. It really is. I mean, the one guy on the end is let free, and you've got another guy pulling across the formation that takes him out. They've run that thing for years. The only guy that has an assignment that's a good distance away from him is that the guy who pulls, and in this case, it was Washington.
Mm-hmm. And he made the block, to his credit.
He did.
But what I'm saying is it's to fix the running game, right? There's multiple components. There's what's going on up front. Are you blocking the guys you're supposed to? There is the running back seeing the hole and hitting the hole and reading what's happening in front of them. And it just looks way too complicated right now. It looks like Najee or Jalen or whoever is second guessing because they don't know where guys are supposed to go or supposed to be. Guys aren't executing their assignments up front. It looks way too complex.
Is that what's wrong with Najee? I'm gonna
let's get to him in a minute.
To Scarps here.
I want to make a quick comment.
Thank you for the floor.
To me, you simplify things up front and block the guy in front of you, let your running back read and hit the hole, and not have to worry about who's supposed to be pulling around, who am I following, all that stuff. And that's a short-term fix. You can get to the complicated stuff later, but it's like in hockey. They say sometimes the simple play is the best play. Just dump it in, chase it, go get the puck. You don't have to try and do something fancy.
I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, but the Raiders run a lot of stunts. And if you're trying to gap block against a team that runs stunts, it becomes more difficult. So you've got to account for that. And you got to keep them guessing as to what you're going to do as well, so that they don't run as many friggin' stunts that are difficult for you to defeat.
I'll go back to my prestigious high school coaching career and talks of offensive line play. Well, one of the things that we did was occasionally what Ian's getting at. Sometimes you just got to stop the pulling and the trapping bullcrap, and you just got to say, we're going man on man. Okay,
You can do that in high school, but you can't at this level.
No. I'm just making the analogy
I get
that sometimes you go back to kind of bare bones and then you build it back, and it feels like that's what they need to do at times. Maybe it's just too much. I agree with you, Ben, that the counterplay that was run, I that's something we've done for years,
and it was a good call.
Yeah, and
the guy, the ball carrier was the problem. Pickett should have run inside between Chooks and Washington, and he would have gotten it. It was 2 yards.
Yeah. Scarps, did you have a comment? I thought you were going to say something before I.
No, I just
Najee.
No, that we'll get to him in a second, but
yeah,
going back to last year, and Ian, you're talking about like they got it right towards the end of the year. Okay, so let's put this in context. They were 6-1 in their final 7 games, and they ran the ball extremely well in that after that bye week. But only one of the defenses that they faced finished in the top half of rushing defense, and that was the Ravens. Everybody else was like 18th and worse in those final 6 games. So that context matters. Like, yes, that game at Baltimore, they had almost 200 rushing yards, but I don't know. Is that the fluke? I don't know. But I just like this. Whatever happened in that bye week, and whatever happened in the preseason, the Kool-Aid tasted so good. And in these 2 weeks,
it was tasty.
They are so bad. And yeah, I know they lost Cam, but their defense is not good either. So do not read too much into this whole 1-1 thing, because how many times did the Browns have a chance to, like, even we could not put them away the other night. Like, gifted a pick 6 on the first play of the game, and it was literally it was awful.
Yeah, but we couldn't put them away because the offense could only put up 12 points.
I get but I thought this offense was going to be so great.
Yeah,
man.
defense 14, offense 12.
They're not. I mean, they put up 19 points on the season. They're not good.
No, so. To build off of what Scarps is saying there a little bit, I mean, I don't think you can ignore those factors that what we were paying, what we were playing last year was not great. And we just played 2 of the better defenses in the league. And so I think you have to take that into account. But now we're playing a defense that
it's not good.
It's not good.
They got one guy.
Right. And so I think this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And this was also one of those defenses in that list that Scarps was talking about.
They need to step up.
Yeah.
They need to step up this week, big time.
So going back to one of the original points, Najee Harris.
Can I do this?
What's that?
So can I do this?
Yes.
Please. And then afterward, Scarps can go ahead and rant. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Najee has no burst. I suspected that Najee was in decline at the end of last year. Now I'm fucking certain. I mean, it's day and night when you look at the way that a guy like Jaylen Warren, who was undrafted, runs away from defenders. And then you look at Najee Harris, who's a first-round pick, and you're like, okay, Najee, you're still strong, and I'm sure you still have good hands, and you're capable, and you're smart, and everybody likes you. You're a good dude.
Yeah.
But that doesn't win football games.
Nope.
He's not getting another contract. And, when he came out of Alabama, we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm healthy, I'm good, no worries, blah, blah, blah. Saban runs the wheels off those guys. Yeah, some of those guys come out. There are some exceptions, but by and large, those guys that come out, you get 4 or 5 years out of them, and that's it. I don't even know if we're going to get 4 good years out of Najee right now.
Yeah, Ian.
The offensive line's terrible too.
Well, yeah, Ian. What are you seeing with Harris?
I'm seeing second guessing. I agree about the no burst, that he's not hitting the hole hard and strong. But even on like some of those swing passes and things like that, when he gets to the outside, he's never run away from people, even he's never been that guy. But yeah, I agree with Ben that last year the word we always used for Jaylen Warren was decisive, that he was a decisive runner, and that made him look quicker. This year, he's got friggin' burst. Like, you can tell whatever work Jaylen Warren put in the offseason, like he looks faster out there. And he just makes plays when the ball's in his hand. He converted a third down where he had 3 defenders between him and the first down line, and he somehow got there. Like, this offense, and that's one of the biggest things ailing this team too. This offense cannot sustain drives. We can't even pick up first downs.
Nope.
Forget about touchdowns. I mean, yes, we want to score touchdowns, but like, we got to get first downs. We got to keep the defense off the field. We're getting crushed in time of possession. Our defense is out there for freaking ever. We got to, and that's what a good running game can do for you. You get those first downs, you keep drives rolling, you establish that rhythm and that momentum, and you just wear the other team down.
So what I'm hearing is we all seem to be pretty much on board with the fact that Najee is struggling in terms of the lack of burst. We like what we see from Warren a little bit. So Scarps, what would you do in this situation? Would you start giving Jaylen Warren a few more carries? What would you do here?
Well, I would stop drafting running backs in the first round.
That was not my question, young man.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Mark was in the teacher mode.
I'm done with 22, and I've been done with 22, and I was done with him even after he had that nice second half last.
This is what I was looking for. Thank you.
I'm done with him. He sucks. It was a wasted first round pick. I don't want to steal all of Casey's thunder, but it was a terrible first round pick. You got a rookie free agent, Jaylen Warren, who is more decisive, faster, stronger. Fucking that dude hits people. Najee don't hit anybody. He maybe hurdles over them or like tries to stiff arm him like he's Derrick Henry, even though he wishes he was Derrick Henry, and I wish he was.
Najee's pretty strong. I'll give him that.
Strong
But
dude.
that's really
Strong
all
bullshit. If he would have caught that same pass Jaylen Warren did, he would have went down right away. Jaylen Warren has will and heart and determination, much like the Steelers' first round pick out of the University of Pittsburgh. But anyway, back to Najee. I'm done with him. But the one thing I will say about it is that Canada like gives him these plays and he's running like east and west, which makes no sense to me. Like if the dude just ran straight ahead and got a couple yards, I wouldn't hate him as much. But like Canada doesn't do him any favors. The line doesn't do him any favors, but I'm done with him.
So
he doesn't do
I hear what you're saying.
like many people on the Steelers, besides TJ Watt and Highsmith and probably Cam and Pickens, nobody does anything that wows me.
By the way, what the hell was that move
Pickens,
that Pickens made? I mean, he looked like he was trying to jump up on the back of a horse or something. What the hell was that?
I mean, let's be real. Good.
He is he's renowned for almost making people guess what he's going to do in practice. Like he's this kid who is never the same, and he's wacky, and he's like, yeah, that if I do this, people never know what I'm going to do next.
Well,
and they're always guessing. They're
hysterics.
Like, what do I do? What do I do? You know, what's this guy going to do? Is he going to try and go around me? Is he going to come straight at me? What you know, it's all of it. And he's playing little mind games with people when he pulls shit like that. But yeah, I wish he would have tried to avoid the guy rather than jumping into his arms.
Right. That was very bizarre. To the point about him, though, we saw what happens when you get him the ball in space. We are we're very used to just seeing him run the go on the sideline, and he makes a spectacular catch and goes down. Now we saw him be able to move just a little bit. I think that has to be something they're going to build on. Ian, really, don't you think?
You would hope so, but it all goes back to if you run the ball well, you can run play action, then you can get more time to throw those kind of passes. Because Pickett actually looked okay when they ran those couple play action passes, and he had time to, kind of survey the field. Actually, I thought Pickett's best throw was that 10-yard out on third down to Calvin Austin that he fit in right outside the defender. Like, that was a great throw. But
oh boy, what a throw! That's gonna get us there. I'm being a dick, Ian, but that's literally like
for him, that was his best throw.
It was his best throw.
Are you like
what
are we really gonna like that's how bad it is that we're looking at a 10.
That is how bad it is.
No,
I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm gonna say it. like 1 out of every 10 of Kenny's throws right now is money.
Yeah.
10%. Dude has got to get that up to like 50%. He's an NFL starter. He's got, I mean, then I saw something the other day, and it was Ben 2007. Okay, so this is like prime Ben, entering his prime Ben.
Right.
A fucking 25-yard out on the move, on a rope. I was just like, where's that guy? How do we draft him? My God.
We were so lucky for so many years.
I know.
And Pickett is struggling right now. I mean, he can't. Part of the problem that they're having with the passing game, since we're going there now, is they're running routes and concepts that Pickett can't throw. Pickett can't throw a slant route. He's not completed a successful slant route this year. It's been either behind a guy, at a guy's feet, intercepted. Like, he can't throw a slant route. And those slants, those in cuts, like the touchdown to Pickens was a either deep in or post, whatever you want to call it. But nevertheless, they also had another receiver clearing out the high safety to give Pickens the space to come in underneath that. So, and Pickett, to his credit, stood in there, took a hit to make the throw, which you have to do as an NFL starter. But nevertheless, the part of the problem too, like, I saw someone say in the chat that like Pickens needs 15 targets a game. I don't disagree with that. No. But if you're throwing slant routes to him and Kenny can't throw a slant, then like you're kind of wasting throws there. You got to find throws that Kenny can make, or teach Kenny how to throw a friggin' slant route.
What about moving the pocket a little bit?
They could do that too.
I mean, yeah.
Even when he has a clean pocket, he bails.
That's like the problem.
In Big Ben's burner, I love you, my man, but like you're saying, like Pickett is Kenny Pickett's Jordan Addison. What? Who gives a shit about Jordan Addison? This isn't Pitt anymore. Like I just don't get this whole it's like this like Pickett was good at his senior year at Pitt, so therefore he should be good in the pros. Like we just said, the guy can't throw a slant. Like that should have been an easy walk-in touchdown for DJ against the Niners.
Yeah,
and like he threw it at his ass, like behind his ass. And it's like, how does that even happen? Like Big Ben's burner. I love you. I'm just saying that like just because he was good with Jordan Addison doesn't mean he's going to be good with George Pickens. I mean, how many times has he missed George Pickens, or how many times has he George Pickens ran a go and it's 5 yards out of bounds? Like I don't know.
Well, I do want to mention.
I'm frustrated. If anybody can tell.
Yeah, I just want to mention that Kenny Pickett is from Pitt.
I want to mention that Kenny Pickett has acknowledged that he sucks, and then he needs to get better.
He's saying everything that he should be saying.
He is saying everything that he needs to be saying.
He knows he's struggling.
Yeah.
And it cannot be easy for him because, obvious.
That's the job.
Would any of you suggest, and again, a lot of this is predicated on the lack of pass blocking consistently, run blocking consistently, but do any of you think that they still kind of have a very firm grasp, the pulling the reins on him still between Tomlin and Canada? Are they still not really letting Kenny be Kenny?
I have two thoughts here.
Go for it, Ian.
One, sorry, I'm talking a lot, so I'll shut up after this. But one is they talked about it today, and somebody asked Matt Canada today if Kenny had the ability to audible at the line, because it really doesn't look like he does. Or if he does, he's not comfortable doing it because he's not changing things at the line. He gets up there, he looks at the defense, he's like, all right, you're coming in motion, let's go. All right, we're snapping the ball. Like, he's not changing things at the line. So I don't know if that's he doesn't have the ability to it, or he doesn't trust himself, or what it is. The other thing is, and we talked about this last year, did they get, and we know Tomlin is a very conservative coach in the sense that he hates turnovers, he wants ball control, all that. Mm-hmm. Did Kenny's early turnovers last year make them coach the aggressiveness out of him and be like, you have to not turn the ball over Does he still have that voice in the back of his head being like, oh, should I make this risky throw? I might turn it over. Maybe I'll just take the safe one instead. And as an NFL quarterback, you can't have that. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I'm worried that they coach the aggressiveness out of him.
That's exactly why I asked the question, because I get that feeling a little bit.
Burner's point over in the chat is right. He was a lot more aggressive his senior year at Pitt than he's been really since his first couple games as a Steeler.
He was a lot more aggressive last year, late in the season, than he is right now.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's be frank.
No, I think
the offensive line got their shit together, and they were communicating and they were working well together the last half of the season last year. And as you pointed out earlier, Ian, they had one starter, who was a stud in Philly. He was. Which reminds me, Mason Cole. Not playing well. Yeah. Not at all. Yeah. Our center needs to fucking step his game up. And I don't know if the issue is communication or what's going on there, but he's allowing way too much pressure right up the gut. And that is a problem.
To me, it's just he's being physically beaten.
Yes.
I mean, communication could be part of it, but I mean, he is just physically getting beaten.
And just him. There's been a lot of pressure up the middle, and when you have pressure up the middle, you don't have a pocket.
No. That's why I was talking earlier about moving the pocket a little bit. But
one quick thing back to Pickett is that, you're all pro outside linebacker, one of the best defensive players in the game. It's his 7th year in the league already. You don't know how much longer he has in this league. Never won a playoff game. Your all-pro safeties never won a playoff game. Cam Hayward's only won one playoff game. The window for these dudes to capitalize is closing. So you draft a quarterback in the first round, the most pro-ready, and I kept hearing he's not a game manager.
Pro-ready is not ready.
Okay.
Most pro-ready is not ready.
So everybody's like, he's not just a game manager. Hell, I would take him right now just to be a game manager.
Exactly.
Like, and he's not.
If he was Kirk Cousins, I'd be like, great.
Kirk Cousins. People say that like we want to compare him to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a really good quarterback. He has a,
He's a mid quarterback. He's a mid starter.
Kirk Cousins has never had a top 15 defense while he's been at Minnesota.
He's way better than Kenny Pickett right now.
And
Minnesota's defense is playing really well this year. Really well.
Yeah.
No,
I wonder what would have happened if we would have kept that guy. The guy who left.
What the fuck are we talking about? Anyway, get back to Pickett.
Yeah.
Get back to Pickett. If you drafted him and you're purposefully holding him back because you're scared that he's going to turn the ball over or whatever, like you might as well just give up. Like I know franchise quarterbacks don't grow on trees, and you just had one of the best to ever do it. But like, what are you really doing for your organization? But then again, you kept Matt Canada, and you gave Ben Matt Canada in his final year. Why did you just keep Randy around for another year if you knew Ben was going to be done? It's like, then this organization has made some really, really weird decisions over the past couple years. And the Sunshine Crew just sits there and says, I'm going to bow at the black and gold altar because everything that they say and do is wonderful and right. It's not. There's clearly something going on. And you know what? We'll never know the answers. And I know some of the people still involved in making the decisions, and I'm getting a hunch of who's involved and whatnot. And if those people really are doing this, then shame on them, because they have a loser mentality.
Were you possibly just releasing a little inside information there?
It's not even inside information. I mean,
okay.
I'm just saying, like, I worked there with Omar, Art, and Tomlin, and those guys have a lot of power.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to tell you this right now. Fucking Mike Sullivan isn't calling the shots, or Frisman Jackson. So it's like,
right. No, I was just curious if maybe you were,
no, I'm not. I just, like, let's just be real. It floats out there. Like, if he's on staff because he gave Tomlin's son a scholarship, I mean, let's be honest. Have the Steelers not ever given jobs to their friends before, or done favors for other people? Like
nepotism.
how many? Yeah, it was just like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Let me shift gears here a little bit. What did you guys think of the way that ESPN handled the Nick Chubb injury?
How they handled it. I
Well,
really haven't been paying attention.
basically, he got hit, and I don't know about you guys, but the angle I had on TV, I saw he was engaged with a defensive player. I saw Minkah come flying in, and the next thing you know, I hear Joe Buck basically saying, "Yeah, okay, that's not good. We're not going to show that." And then you could hear the whole crowd just go, "Oh!" So you knew it was bad. But did you guys, Ian? Did you think they handled that, maybe too conservatively, because people were
by not showing it? You mean?
Right.
I thought it was fine. Actually, I thought it was respectful. Because there have been times where guys have had really gruesome injuries and they've shown it like over and over again on TV. And like thinking back to like when Ryan Shazier got hurt, like they showed him like with that hit and collapsing a bunch of times.
Yes.
And it's like, we don't need to see that.
There was some value in that, in my opinion.
But the other thing too
in
is
the moment.
The other thing too, though, is like, everybody has social media. If you wanted to see it, it was out there.
Yeah, I was watching it within 10 seconds.
I was just gonna say within seconds it was.
Easy.
I was watching it on Twitter within seconds, and I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Yeah. So I did think it was respectful of Chubb and of the way it played out, that they kind of just were like, no, we're not going to show this on TV, which is fine. That said, after watching the game again, because I hate myself and have to put myself through that, after watching it again,
me too,
that was not the only time that a Steelers defensive back tried to go low to tackle a Browns running back.
Right.
And here's what I'll say. Chubb's a big dude. If you're a defensive back and try and tackle him high, he's going to run you over or juke you, and you're going to miss and not make the tackle. So for a smaller guy, whether it's a cornerback, a safety, whether it's Minkah, whether it's KZ, whether it's somebody else, like going low towards the ankles is the best way to trip up a bigger back. Like you're not going to take them on chest to chest.
Vince said it on Twitter. He said, "I dare you, go high on Nick Chubb, see what happens."
Yeah, no, and the thing with Chubb is not just that he's a big dude; it's that he's a big dude and he's also bottom heavy. The guy's all legs. The guy is all legs. If you go at his thighs and try and tackle him, he will shake you off, as he did many times in that game to Steelers defenders.
Yeah,
that is what he does. He runs straight forward, runs right through you, runs through your tackle. I mean, Mark criticized him earlier this week for arm tackling. I don't know how much of that was arm tackling or how much of that was Chubb. I'm going to be frank. That dude just makes plays.
Well, it wasn't just Chubb they were arm tackling and failing on, though. I mean, it was some other guys too.
Njoku.
Yeah,
I saw the same thing.
And as far as the hit itself, I see some people had some comments in there. Look, you can't go high anymore, and so you got to go low. And I'm sorry these things happen. I like Nick Chubb a lot. I think it was a perfect storm of him being engaged with another defender and very vulnerable. And Minkah had an open shot.
At the end of the day, you have to make those decisions very quickly in the NFL because of the speed of the game. You have to commit to whatever it is you decide you're going to do. When Minkah went low, he didn't realize Holcomb had him high.
Right.
Right. Okay, that's it. And I'm sure he wishes he could have that play back. I'm sure he does, but he can't.
No. You can't, and his job was to keep him from getting to the end zone.
Yes,
and that's what he was doing. Scarps?
I'm not going to say it was dirty. I'm not going to say it was dirty. I just if go back and look at how he did it. He didn't he rolled and went in with his back. Like it's like it was
with his side.
Yeah, it was like a very it was like a very weird sort of
Yeah.
It wasn't a
knees-
classic shoulder first
No,
like, tackle.
and what I'm
Yeah.
saying is if Holcomb so if Holcomb doesn't get the Chubb and Minkah does that, Chubb's in the end zone.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
think it was Minkah's
I
not
don't-
making that tackle.
I
But, like,
don't think that Chubb would have gotten into the end zone, but he would have gotten a couple more yards.
For sure.
but the fact that he was engaged and Minkah did that, that's the perfect storm. 'Cause I don't-
Exactly.
it's-
But
it's like-
again, it's a speed of the game thing. I don't want to keep going back to bang bang play, but that's kind of what I saw. It was
Right.
those things happen so quickly, and you have to commit to whatever it is you're going to do in that moment. And did you see where Chubb's knee actually was against Minkah when he dislocated it? It was against his waist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Did they, Ryan? I'll let you finish. Did they come up with a full diagnosis of what the injuries were to his knee yet?
I don't know if they did full diagnosis.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
Dislocated knee and torn PCL is what I saw last.
Okay.
But they're waiting for the swelling to go
Swelling's
down.
got to go down
so that they can actually go in and do the surgery.
Right.
And when they get in there, they'll really know what's going on at that point.
Yeah.
Just my last thing, and I just want I just want Steelers fans to understand that last preseason there was a cut block on TJ, and TJ didn't miss any time, and Steelers fans got so pissed off, and they're like, "Oh, the dirty play, take it out of the game." That's not an illegal play either.
Right.
So
In the box.
So
In the
so
box,
as much,
it's not. I agree with you.
so I just want to be real here. As much as we hate Browns fans and they're annoying as hell and they talk shit all week,
Yep.
if those roles were reversed, and I'm not even saying Najee, but if we had Nick Chubb and that happened, or that somebody did that to TJ, we would be so pissed off, and we'd be saying it's dirty. It just like whether it's in hockey, when somebody elbows Sid or vice versa, like when
that's the emotion of the moment. Like, you're upset about the injury. You're upset about the outcome. You're not really upset about what transpired during the play. That's the difference. And yes, Vinny, I agree with you. Some people do think that Minkah faked being injured. No. Nick Chubb earholed him with his other knee.
Yeah.
And he was laying on the ground going, I honestly thought that he was going to end up in concussion protocol this week.
Did you guys think?
I thought he probably should have.
And maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed to me that the audio on the field was exceptionally sensitive. I mean, I could hear guys moaning and groaning after hits. Like, I don't know that I've ever really heard that before. Could you guys pick that up where you were?
No.
I mean, literally, there were moments.
I was in a
right. You're
room with
usually
100
in a
people,
noisier.
so.
Yeah. It just struck me as odd that they got that kind of close and personal to it. Okay, I think we all know that Deshaun Watson's an asshole. 2 15-yard face mask penalties. He should have been thrown out of the game for engaging the referee the way he did.
For putting his hands somewhere.
Putting his hands in the ref, right?
Yeah, and I saw Richard Deitch of The Athletic. He does a great job covering the media and stuff. He interviewed some people in the league office, and they flat out admitted, we're not going to throw him out of the game for that. He's a star. He's a quarterback. We got to keep him in the game.
And you can't. Sorry, Sodak.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm done.
Well, no, and you can't tell me it's not all about ratings and ratings equal money.
Yeah, it is.
Because if they throw Deshaun Watson out of the game, that game's over.
Yep.
They need him in that game because he's their best. He's their best. And look at even through all the bullshit we had to deal with. They were on the move, driving to win the game. And like, if they throw him out at that moment, that's not good, because that's not good for ratings. And
he deserved it, though.
Well, and there's no
dude
question.
has got a temper that
there's no question that
he needs to take care of. He needs to get that shit in check.
And I will say the first one to me, I actually laughed about, because he did it in a way where if the ref wasn't in the right position, he made it look like he was grabbed. Like he grabbed it and then pulled it down, and he
looked at him and he said, he grabbed my arm.
Yes.
What?
So like,
So you grabbed his face mask as in response?
it was a.
Shut the fuck up.
But until they slowed it down, I was like, it looked like they grabbed his face mask. So like, it's whatever. But like that dude, in my opinion, that dude is frustrated for a variety of reasons.
Very much so.
And and you're gonna say this, and I do feel bad because I think Kevin Stefanski's a good coach. I think he did good with Baker. He did good with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
But then Jimmy Haslam sold his soul to get Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson does not like Kevin Stefanski, and that's oil and or water and
kinda
oil,
see
or
it,
whatever.
can't
Whatever.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
you're onto something. You
Here's a
can
guy
kinda-
that puts oil and vinegar on his salad.
Vinegar. Let
I
me
like it
take
on my sandwiches.
a quick
Oh,
time
yeah.
out because a very important question was asked right there. What's everyone drinking tonight? Melvin was courteous enough
I'm almost
to
Al Modelo Negra.
oh, very nice. He texted me his beverage of the evening. He's got the old Glenlivet. Let me see
yeah.
if we-
Yeah, Melvin.
Glenlivet.
what's he got here?
Four
Triple
fingers,
cask matured single malt Scotch whiskey, man.
That's
How
the
is
only
that?
mature thing happening on this show.
Hey,
Yeah,
Melvin,
absolutely. And the
Melvin
fact that
Mark went
anybody,
ahead and he forwarded that text to us.
yeah, the
Triple
fact that anybody
cask
would drink that
matured.
fine of a booze on this show, I feel honored.
I think that there are a number of times that people on this show are drinking really good stuff.
I think so too.
I mean, even just like obviously the Bradshaw bourbon,
Well,
which we all love.
and which we are getting very low on.
Oh, I know. I need to get another one home too.
Yeah.
I have a full bottle of batch number 1, but I'm not drinking it.
Don't touch it. Yep.
Nope. Maybe someday we'll get Terry to autograph those for us or something.
I'm
but
hoping.
yeah, I mean, I've seen a number of times where people were drinking really good stuff as they were listening to the show, and I appreciate
that makes
that.
me happy. That makes
I think
me
it's kind of reflective of the whole quality over quantity thing, that people do as they get older. Except for Scarps, he's still drinking the White Claw. White Claw Surge. I'm sorry.
Not
White
tonight,
Claw
man.
Surge.
White Claw Surge.
Surge.
Is that a thing?
8%ers.
Oh.
So since we're cheersing everyone, I want to cheers
The red Solo Cup. I love it.
Let's have a party. This is the redemption rye.
Oh yeah.
I
I've got
love
some
that
of that
shit.
over there. Yeah,
That's so
good.
delicious.
I gotta get some more.
I got some of that too.
Cheers to all of our fans that are engaging with us.
Hell yes.
Everybody. Steelers
Absolutely.
Freak, Big Ben's Burner. We love you all. Jen, Melvin, Vinny.
You guys ask really
that's
good
the only-
questions.
Aaron,
and make really good points every week, and that's what we love about you.
You all know who you are, and you all make this special. But cheers.
Indeed. And I'm just going to finish pouring this. I think this is my last Southern tier. I have to get some more.
I've got Sam Adams
Southern Man.
Oktoberfest.
Oh, that's right. The
Is that
fall
what's in your
season
keg?
is on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna go refill in a second. I got
Yeah, I
a
am
couple
actually
quick
too.
thoughts on the defense.
Go for
before
it.
we move on to the Raiders game here.
Yeah.
So the Browns have their tackles aren't great. Like they had a rookie starting against TJ Watt. They had, Jedrick Wills, who Alex Highsmith has always dominated throughout his career. But their interior line is actually decent. Like they have good guards. And Montravius Adams just ate those guys for lunch on passing plays. He struggled a little on rundowns, but Montravius Adams was all over the place. Larry Ogunjobi played a great game for how many snaps he had to play in the absence of Cam Hayward. DeMarvin Leal had a sack, and who am I forgetting? Somebody else in there had some nice. Oh,
Keanu had some
Keanu
quality
Benton. Yeah, Leal had a sack, had some quality snaps,
Yep.
and Keanu Benton had a couple flashes too. So I thought our defensive line, like, despite giving up a lot in the run game, and some of that is just Chubb being a really good back, and
for sure.
Well, Jerome Ford bouncing that one around the end, which second week in a row we gave up like a 60-plus yard
Levi
run.
Wallace.
What the fuck? Yeah. At any rate, our defensive line guys had some nice reps without Cam Hayward in there, and so especially in pass rush situations, that they made Deshaun Watson's life uncomfortable. They missed some sacks too, but they made his life uncomfortable. which was good to see. They obviously need to clean some stuff up in the run defense. I'd like to see Mark Robinson get some snaps. I think Ben referenced that early.
Yeah.
I mean, Robinson, our best run defender, has 0 snaps. Someone in the chat said, I'd like to see I'd like to see Vince Williams on the team again, and be like, we have a guy like that. His name's Mark Robinson. He's just not getting any snaps.
Speaking of, Ian, you know whose revenge game it is? Bobby Spillane.
That's
Bobby
right,
Spillane.
the HVAC man.
That's right. That is a good segue.
Well, I do want to finish with one thing left from the Browns game.
Presley Harvin, great game.
Yes, have to mention. Yeah, and Ian,
yes,
we were talking
did.
about it.
Yeah.
He was like on the edge, man. I don't know how much longer he was going to keep that job. At least in my opinion. I know it doesn't mean anything, but he did. He had a great game. Great game.
Yeah, I don't think that he would have gotten cut.
No,
I think
a lot of but I thought that he did a great job on that hold on the 50-yard field goal too. That was a low snap. And so shout out to
and
that
a lot
guy.
of that is, as Ian has pointed out multiple times in this show, over and over again, the punter is also the holder for our place kicker, and if you're good at that, they take that into consideration.
Yeah. Vinny brought up Gunnar Olszewski.
Fuck
Ben,
that guy.
Ben, would you have any comments on Gunnar Olszewski?
I might. That was a fucking waste of $2 million. He fucking sucks. I have no sympathy for him. When he got hurt, I was like, "You're a douchebag." I'm sorry. I'm like, what does he actually fucking bring to the game? What does he do?
Oh man, that hit hurt me, man. When he got popped, I was like, "Oh shit." Yeah.
I mean, like all of it. Like, protect the fucking ball.
I mean, if DJ wasn't hurt, would he still be on the roster right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
He apparently he would, because somebody likes him and they want to keep him around for a while. And it's like, because he can do multiple things. Like, he's a returner and also he's a fucking terrible receiver. When he returns kicks, he fucks them up and let the goddamn ball go out of bounds, you fucking asshole.
What was he thinking?
I have no fucking idea. And then they asked Tomlin about that this week, and he said, no, I have not asked him. Sometimes I don't ask questions because I don't want excuses.
The only thing I could think of about 2 points real quick, I'll get back to Gunnar, but Presley Harvin had a great game. But did you guys realize that Tomlin punted 4 times within the 50-yard line of the Browns?
Yeah.
But it was all 4th and 10 and 4th and 12.
But I'm just saying that, like, and the first thing I was like, let me just double check to make sure that he wasn't living in his fears. But yeah, they were all pretty far. But
they were all like close to the 50 or on the other side of the 50. And Harvin did a great job when he was in that position. That was the thing. That was like, dude, how did you, like, the 1 yard line?
That was nuts.
Wow.
The only
thing just real quick before you add that comment, could you explain why Bobby Spillane is the HVAC man?
It's just Robert Spillane just sounds like a Pittsburgh name that's really good at fixing if your heater and air conditioner if something goes wrong.
And he kind of looks like that too.
And he looks like it. He looks like a guy that probably played some high school football, maybe some college ball, but never made it to the big leagues. And he comes to your house, he fixes your HVAC system, he gets you up and running, teaches you some tips and tricks and techniques, and then he talks Steelers football with you. Then getting back to Gunnar, the only thing I could think of is that he thought, and this is still a rule, like it's always on the like top 10 heads up plays or whatever, where like if you go out of bounds and you like touch the ball while it's still in bounds, it's a touchback. Or no,
right.
I'm sorry. It's an illegal procedure penalty. It's like kicking it out of bounds. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Which was what we wanted.
Right.
We wanted them to kick it out of bounds.
So like, do you guys know what I'm talking about though? Like if you go out of bounds and you stay out of bounds and you touch the ball while it's in the field of play, that's the same as a kicker kicking it out of bounds. That's the only thing I can think that he was thinking. But all he had to fucking do is let the ball just sail out of bounds. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't
easily
even close.
going out of bounds in the first place. I mean, look, we all have brain farts in life, but man, what a horrible time to have one.
And you know what? And I'm just gonna say this, and I know he's the fucking the Darth Vader or whatnot, but like very rarely does Belichick make a mistake when it comes to
Yeah.
letting players go, right? And he liked that guy, and obviously it didn't work out. And I bet you the Steelers were like, oh, here's a
Now here's a guy.
yeah, here's a guy. They couldn't cut it in New England.
I mean, in Kevin's defense, Kevin Colbert is who I'm speaking of. The guy was an all-pro returner one year.
Yeah.
All right. So do I think Gunner sucks? Absolutely. Does he bring anything to the offense? Nothing. Zero. Is he a good returner? No, he's not. He's muff kicks. He's muff catches on punts.
Yeah.
He's fucked up so many times as a special teamer. I have no idea how Danny Smith has any fucking faith in him anymore. The guy fucking sucks flat out. Like every time he gets the ball, I fucking cringe. I'm like, why the fuck are we paying this asshole $2 million to fuck up? Like, okay, I'm calling this out like it's my money. It's not. Why is the team paying him $2 million, blowing $2 million in cap money?
Yeah.
On this fucking asshole when he contributes literally his contributions are negative.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're negative he takes away from the rest of the team. He's that fucking bad.
Terrible.
Why
blocker.
the fuck is this guy still on the roster? Why?
Well, he's still in protocol, right?
Yes.
He was
I believe he was today.
So he won't get a hat on Sunday. So that means Calvin Austin will get a hat. But with the way the rules
Calvin
are now,
got a hat last week.
Well, I think
I meant as a returner. Yeah.
Calvin's a little guy.
He is little, but I've been impressed with him so far.
The way the
you and I
rules are
both,
now,
especially as a punt returner,
catches the ball well. He takes some shots, gets back up. I was really afraid he was going to be one of those just go down at a breath and that's it for him. But yeah, I've been impressed. Okay, let's talk loss.
You know who Calvin Austin reminds me a little bit of, and I'm not saying it's the exact same.
Billy White Shoes Johnson. I have no idea where I got that one.
No,
pulled that out of his ass.
No, almost like a Darren Sproles. That like Sproles was a little guy, but he never took a big hit because he had enough maneuverability that like he knew when he was going to get hit to kind of adjust his body so that he didn't get absolutely destroyed. And
you know who was like that? And the Steelers let him leave was Stephon Logan.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sproles is a little thicker up top, but I see
think
your
so.
point.
Sproles was way thicker through the bottom. Sproles had power.
He
did. Tiny guy.
Eventually, by the end of his career, but when he was a young guy coming out, like he was pretty slender. He was small and thin when he was
smaller.
Yeah,
it was not small.
But like watching Calvin Austin return punts,
the analogy.
Watching him, even on offense, like he's small, but he's not getting blown up by these guys. He's putting himself, even when he gets tackled, in a position where he's not like destroying his body.
No,
I know the quarterback can't throw a slant, but like I would love to see like Calvin Austin catch a slant and go to the house because
they had him on a crosser.
I know.
That if Kenny had laid the ball out in front of him,
I was going to bring this up earlier. I mean, I know we want to hammer Matt Canada, and I agree with everybody who says he sucks. As you guys know, he's fucking terrible. But there have been guys open that Kenny is missing, and it wasn't just Calvin Austin. He's missed Pickens open. He's missed a handful of guys open, and he's leading the DBs with his eyes.
Where the hell are the tight ends, by the way?
I mean, great question.
I mean,
Casey will touch on one of them later.
Freiermuth's got 2 catches. Hayward's got a couple, if you want to call him a tight end. Washington's got nothing. The guy's got hands like catcher's mitts. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that any of these guys has to have 10 targets a game. But
does Darnell Washington have a target yet?
No,
I don't believe so. He has lined up. He has lined up in the slot a handful of times, which I'm like, okay, here we go. This is good. And nothing's happened.
And we all said this right after he was drafted. We said wow, it would be really great because that guy could be a fucking game breaker. Like that guy is just so big, and you see all these nice catches and whatnot. And I said at the time, I said he reminds me of a bigger Jermaine Gresham, and they don't even throw the ball because Matt Canada and like that's the thing. It's not all Matt Canada's fault, but Matt
Nope.
Canada
No.
is too dumb to fucking put
I
a
mean,
play in for that guy. I'm telling you
yeah.
right now.
Too dumb.
Hey, Darnell,
I'm
8 yards, turn
dead
around and box
serious.
out the linebacker. There's a 8-yard
And
gain.
here's the other funny part about this is that you could use them in the red zone, but we don't get into the red
Well,
zone. So what does it matter?
Right. We didn't sniff the red zone.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Negative
embarrassing.
7 yards, negative 7 net yards in the fourth quarter, and we were down and we still won. That
Yeah.
people don't understand how lucky that was. And
Oh,
I don't want to say, and I don't mean lucky.
Lucky.
In like,
Our defense can put up 14 points every week, Scarps. You're so fucking wrong. Oh my God. What the fuck are you thinking?
I'm just
Well,
saying, man. Like,
so-
Yes, it was incredibly fucking lucky.
So this week
That
we
was
go to
sarcasm
Vegas.
for you folks at home.
We know the history of the Steelers when they play out in the West. It hasn't been swell. But this is a night game. Ian, I know you want to comment here, so go ahead.
Maybe,
Here's
it'll
what
be like
I'll
the
say.
49ers coming across, maybe?
Ben Roethlisberger, I'd been on the horse of like Mike Tomlin teams are bad on the West Coast for a long time. But when I
No.
dug more into the data, Ben Roethlisberger sucked ass on the West Coast. But our only wins in the Tomlin era in the Pacific time zone, who were our quarterbacks? Mike Vick won in
Vick.
San Diego.
Duck
Duck Hodges
Hodges.
won in San Diego.
Arizona
So,
too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Mountain Time. My bad. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
Mountain Time. My bad.
But
yeah.
But going to Pacific time, the only two wins in Tomlin's era were when Ben wasn't the quarterback.
Are you suggesting that Mason Rudolph should get the start this week?
No.
No.
We've seen Mason Rudolph start a game in San Francisco, okay,
Yeah, that was
where
bad,
the
right.
defense gifted him with 5 fucking turnovers and he still lost.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All
Fuck
right.
no.
I thought I'd throw
Okay.
that out there.
That was fun. But yeah, we're not good when we travel outside the Eastern time zone. It's not a pretty picture.
No, it's not. And look, though, I think we've talked about this. The Steelers have an early bye, that week 6 bye. They're going to have this game, then they go to the Texans, and then they've got the Ravens before they go into the bye. I mean, they really, really, really need 2 wins in a row here going into that Baltimore game. And obviously, it doesn't matter what our record is going into the bye. It's not a make or break either way. But, man, it does make a difference. Do you guys expect heavy doses of Josh Jacobs on Sunday night?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
McDaniels
Devontae
is
Adams
stupid
because we don't have anyone
Yeah,
who can
this-
cover him.
This seems like
You think?
Well, Jen asked about Desmond King. Are we finally going to see him?
Has he picked up enough of the defense to be effective and
they
take over
won't-
for Sullivan in the nickel?
they won't even give Joey Porter Jr. more snaps, and he's been there longer than Desmond King.
Yeah.
And I-
He's
we
also
might
a
see-
rookie.
but
He's also a
depending
rookie.
on
I'd trust Desmond King over JPJ right now, honestly. But that said, there were a lot of people that felt that Steelers fans, not like like draft experts, Steelers fans who were ranting about how Joey Porter Jr. was a generational talent.
Yeah, that's wrong.
And that we needed to get him out on the field as quickly as possible. No, he's not. He's a nice prospect who could, if he learns not to be so goddamn grabby, be a nice player. Like that fucking play where he was pulling on Cooper should have been a DPI. And if it hadn't been such a badly thrown ball, it would have
Jones,
been.
yeah. I agree.
It was Peoples Jones? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would have been a DPI. 19 times out of 20, they call it that way. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised he didn't call it anyway. But
I mean, he's hands
was a
here
really
than
shitty
Deshaun
throw.
Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes,
it was
Steel
a
Dad.
really, really shitty
I
throw.
gotta get a sound effects machine, damn it. Yeah, he grabs a lot, and we knew that coming out of college.
He grabs and he pulls.
Yeah.
You
And I
can't
don't
grab and pull. If you're going to grab, you got to grab the guy and hold.
Yeah.
Don't pull on him.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think he also isn't the best tackler.
Yeah, he's not terrible. I mean,
But yeah, I'm not.
Cam Sutton was not a good tackler either, but he managed to work on it, and he became like competent.
And Patrick Peterson, look, man, I love you, dude. But
Shut up.
Shut up, man.
He's
Make
fucking
some plays.
dancing. Who was he dancing with? He was like dancing with
One
one
of
of the Browns
linemen
players
or something, wasn't it?
And like I'm just sitting there and be like, yeah, keep dancing, my man. Dude, dude, there's so many bums on this team. It's ridiculous. It is so bad.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, depending on the health of our safeties, because both Minkah and KZ missed practice so far this week, if we see a little more of the Patrick Peterson safety alignment in certain situations. Which could put Joey Porter Jr. on the field. And to his credit, I mean, the first pass breakup he had early in the game, he was off that guy, made a really nice read, and came up.
That was a really nice play. I got to give him props.
Took advantage of the natural gifts he has been given, which is long arms, which is something you can't
long
teach.
arms and foot speed.
You're right.
That dude. Oh man, that was,
teach it.
That was a hell of a play.
That said, on the last play to Cooper, since Ben talked about it, yes, he was grabbing him.
Peoples Jones,
right? Peoples Jones.
Scarps pointed out.
I'm just Amari Peoples Cooper Jones.
I hope that
Thanks, Dave.
I hope you will do the same for me in my when
inebriated state.
In your old age, when you're as old as Ben is. At any rate,
damn, Ian, I see you.
At any rate, the one thing
there was a bus, so he threw me under it. I get it. That happens. That happens a lot on this show, and we all do it to one another. So it's fine. It's fine.
The thing I'll say for
don't
JPJ
worry, I'll get him back.
Is of course you will. He was holding him inside, and that's what they always tell offensive linemen is if you're going to grab a guy, don't grab the outside of his jersey, don't grab his shoulder pads, grab him in by his numbers, because it's hard for the refs to see that. And the one reverse camera angle they had showed the little tug, but he had him inside the jersey. He had his chest area that he wasn't grabbing to the outside. So that's a harder call for a ref to make, because he might not be able to see it from whatever angle he has. So, if you're going to grab, that's probably the way to grab.
No, I think the ref saw the pull. He saw it, and he looked at the ball and said it wasn't catchable, and that was it.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. And to me, it's no different than the NBA in the final 2 minutes. Referees want you to make a play.
Right.
They're not just going to give you a call.
It didn't help that the game was 10 years long already, too.
Well, my God, was that not the longest damn game? Man,
no, there have been longer, but that was pretty fucking bad.
Like a college game for crying out loud.
Actually, I'm going to be honest with you. Week 1, that was a lot fucking longer game for me, because it was over in the first quarter, and I had to watch the rest of the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
That was just like, just keep making me eat shit over and over and over again. That's fucking fantastic. Week 1 was not a fun week.
Has Casey fully prepared, by the way?
Oh, Casey's ready to go, man.
Casey's ready to go.
I just want to make sure. Yeah. So, Ian, what are a couple of things you're looking for in this game coming up on Sunday night? Another primetime game for the Steelers.
Yeah. And I'm wearing my Sunday Night Football shirt, too.
Oh, good for you. He's an NBC guy.
So I think Ben hit on it early in the show. I mean, we got to run the ball. We got to stop the run. This is not a good Raiders team. No. Jimmy Garoppolo likes to throw the ball between the numbers. That was how he was in San Francisco. He's not great outside the numbers, but Devontae Adams is a really good receiver. So you're going to have to bracket Devontae with two guys, and just try and he's going to get catches, but you just got to limit what he can do.
Yes.
And really, this comes down to where the Raiders have burned the Steelers before is with guys like Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow that operate really well between the numbers. And that was with Derek Carr. Now they have Jimmy Garoppolo, who loves to throw between the numbers, but they don't have Waller anymore. So you got to find ways to take away those throws or to drop guys into those passing lanes or something, because he's going to try and work the middle of the field. He doesn't like throwing to the outside. He never liked throwing to the outside. Whereas the opposite is true for the Steelers. They got to use the middle of the field more. They got to force Oakland or Vegas or whoever the Raiders are now, wherever they're located.
LA.
Thank God they keep the same nickname.
Yeah. Wherever the Raiders are, you got to force them outside the numbers, whereas we got to work the middle of the field more because good things have happened when we've tried to work the middle of the field. You got to throw to the tight ends. You got to work Freiermuth in. And, yeah, I understand last week they tried to use the tight ends to block the Browns' 2 edge rushers a little bit. But, but working the middle of the field also means Kenny has to execute those throws. And he hasn't been good throwing to the middle of the field yet, which is why he's throwing a lot to the outside, and it's a lot of short and outside the numbers, and that's not a good recipe for yards after the catch or things like that. So they got to get yards after the catch.
Kind of like curl routes.
They got to get yards after the catch. They got to run the ball. They got to use the middle of the field. That's on offense. On defense, obviously they got to stop the run. The Raiders, they're going to want to get Josh Jacobs going. They got to find a way to limit Devontae Adams, and they got to force Garoppolo to throw outside the numbers and see what happens.
Yeah, Ben, what are you looking for this week?
Hey, look, obviously, I don't have any faith in Matt Canada or his passing schemes, and it's been really, really bad this year. Like he runs 4 receivers into the same area, which also bunches up defensive personnel in that same area. And sometimes that's all well and good if you run them this way, and then you have something going this way, and the quarterback hits that guy. But we're not doing that often enough. Okay. Typically what happens with the passing scheme is he runs curls or comebacks, and the guy he's facing the quarterback when he catches it, and he's got 50% of the defense directly behind him when he catches the ball, just looking to limit his yak yards, which has been Matt Canada's hallmark the entire time he's been the offensive coordinator. He just sucks. He's just not a very imaginative guy. I don't know how he got this job. I don't know how we can get into the whole thing. There was a report before that Art really wanted him to be the quarterback's coach and be added to the staff to add a dimension to the offense. Okay. That was after he was hired. We need to see the Steelers stop bringing guys in as the OC apparent is the way I feel about it. Glenn Thomas, I'm sorry. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. He's from ASU. Don't give a shit.
He's getting
Arizona
coffee
State.
And donuts. Don't even worry about him.
Sounds like a guy from Hill Street Blues.
He's a senior defensive assistant. I don't know what the fuck his job is, what exactly he does, but the dude is in there. And Mike Sullivan, what we need is a new voice, in my opinion, along the offense. But this week, getting back to this, I've already talked about it. They got to run the ball. Just keep it fucking simple. Run the ball, stop the run. And then the Steelers have got to stop 2 guys to win this game. 2. Devontae Adams, tall fucking order. Max Crosby, you're going to have to double him, chip him, stunt around him, do something. Run at him so that he's spooked about the fact that he's going to overrun the play. That guy is a player. I'd love to have a Max Crosby on the Steelers. That dude he's a player.
Yep.
It's a great story. He's a great story too.
He is.
Darren Waller as well, even though the Giants are ass, but overcome addiction and are really
this is a great point by Jen here.
Yeah.
If Matt Canada doesn't scheme one-on-one with Spillane, let the chance break out again.
I mean,
she's not wrong.
No, she's right. But I mean, you also have to have a stupid defensive coordinator who doesn't match guys outside in when he's looking at a situation like that. Okay, so you can line up a Jalen Warren against a Robert Spillane, and Warren's going to win. There's no question.
Yeah.
But you can't get a number 1 wide receiver against a Robert Spillane because they're going to change the coverage because they're not that dumb.
So you mean we can't get George Pickens against Robert Spillane like
No.
other teams got, Jarvis Landry against Robert Spillane?
Jarvis Landry against not just Robert Spillane.
This
Vince
comment
Williams.
is what we've
Yeah.
spoken to. That you can blame Matt Canada all you want, but the fact of the matter is that Kenny Pickett has missed open receivers.
Yeah.
He has.
I mean,
and
it's
why
just
is that?
truth.
Because Pickett can't stay in the pocket, and I get that. The pockets
Yep.
suck.
Yep.
And now he's spooked. Even when he has a clean pocket, he goes outside of it. He's trying to throw on the
ghosts,
run,
as they say.
and he
Yeah.
is seeing ghosts.
Mhm.
And his footwork is terrible.
Yeah,
Terrible.
mechanics, fundamentals, really
Yes.
poor.
And what happens when you get into that fight or flight mode? You go back to muscle memory. You go back to the things that work
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
not the things you practiced all year in the off season to clean your mechanics up and make it perfect. You go back to muscle memory because that's what got you here. And Kenny's got to get his shit together. I mean,
He does.
He's culpable. There's no question. I'm not saying that he's being put in a good position. And I'll emphasize this point again to you. Bad calls can be made and bad execution can happen simultaneously. And that is what is going on with our offense right now. Matt Canada is terrible. The offensive line, not good. Kenny Pickett, not good.
Maybe
Not
getting
good.
away from home will be good for him.
I hope so.
It's hard to say.
I did want to bring one thing up. Tomlin mentioned that they were changing their travel routine.
Oh,
They were changing some things up to try to see some different results this year.
interesting. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what that entails yet. We'll find this out later on this week.
Now, speaking of travel arrangements, you are scheduled to be in Sin City, aren't you, Ben?
No, I had to scrap that. I'm in Arizona for the weekend.
Had to scrap that. Okay. All right. Just checking.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. And I do expect to see a big contingent, but let's get to the predictions, gentlemen. The Steelers and Raiders will hook up Sunday night after Carrie Underwood does her thing. Does she still do her thing? I don't even watch the
I
pregame.
predict that ESPN. I'm sorry. No, it's NBC. NBC
here's
will,
a guy.
will be regretful that this is the matchup that they have. It's two bad teams.
Really? You
on a
think so
Sunday
that
night.
early, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be very regretful of the fact that these are the teams because you got two bad teams going against one another.
Well, we'll see.
You do.
Scarps, you want to go first?
Yeah,
That way, that gives you time to warm up for Casey.
Thank you.
Not a beer again. Fuck.
So I just want to be candid with our viewers. We are all 1-1, just as the Steelers are right now with our predictions.
Yes, we are.
And the Raiders had a really high opening week, division win against a team that was getting a lot of love, the Broncos, because of Sean Payton. And then they went to Buffalo and just got smacked around. To me, I'm nervous because this seems like a get-right game for the Raiders.
Ooh.
Josh Jacobs is the reigning league rusher that has struggled. Devontae Adams needs no, as Tom would say, needs no endorsement from me. And the Raiders also have Jacoby Myers, former Patriot. And I saw this the other night about Hunter Renfrow. He hasn't had a lot of catches, but that is a guy that could be a thorn in the side. Every time we play, the last 4 times we've played on the road against the Raiders, we've lost in every game. I tweeted this earlier this week. Every game has been weird.
Yes.
And
weird plays.
And I'm gonna be real about it. I'll pick the Steelers to beat the Texans next week, but I'm not gonna pick them this week to beat the Raiders. I just think there's a lot of history against us.
Okay.
I think this is perhaps a mutiny, if you will, against Matt Canada.
A mutiny. A mutiny on the bounty.
We're talking about Raiders, right?
I see what you're doing there. Yeah.
And I am going to go Raiders. And here's the other thing. Daniel Carlson is so much better than Chris Boswell. I'm going to go Raiders 26, Steelers 20.
Okay. Scarps, just for
I don't
the
think that many
record,
points are going to be scored, but all right.
he's picked against the Steelers
I'm
all 3
picking the
weeks.
under on this game. Actually,
Ben,
I'm
go
not.
ahead. Ben, what?
I am concerned about the Steelers' history on the West Coast. Unlike Ian, I'm concerned with the fact that historically East Coast teams do not play well on the West Coast.
Yep.
Coming on a short week, it's 2 bad teams. I agree with Scarps, as I pointed out earlier, that the Raiders are going to try and get Josh Jacobs going this week against a team that has not defended the run well, that being the Steelers, and that he's going to get 100 yards on us this week, which is going to make it really, really difficult to win the game. So I think it'll be a close one because I don't think that either one of these defenses are very good. I don't think that either one of the offenses are very good. So I got it. Fucking Raiders.
Wow.
17, Steelers 16.
Oh, that's 2 for the Raiders. Ian.
Steelers 19-13.
All right.
Wow, he doesn't even hesitate. He
I
goes
hope you're
right to the
right.
score.
I don't know. It's a ugly, weird game. Yeah, we don't play well on the West Coast, but we always play well in prime time. And I don't know. It's
So-
just it's ugly. It's weird. Yeah.
And that is exactly where I'm going. That stadium is a beautiful new stadium, and it's going to look wonderful with a bunch of terrible towels twirling. I will also take the Steelers this week. I'm going 20-16 Steelers. I don't know how they're
Excellent.
going to do it, but they're going to do it. That's
Win
all
ugly,
I can
baby.
say.
Just win, baby, like Al
Just
Davis
win,
always
baby.
said.
Just win. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our traditional end of show with the late, great Mr. Casey Kasem.
Casey's Coast to Coast, American Top 40. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week that was September 21st, 1971. Our favorite correspondent, Ryan, is once again back with us this week, and he writes, Dear Casey, despite Alex Highsmith's pick 6 on the first play of the game, I just knew the Steelers' defense would have to make another splash play to win. And as Highsmith turned that corner and strip sacked Deshaun Watson, yes, I said strip sacked, and that ball popped out, yes, I said ball popped out, and TJ scooped it up, and there was nothing but green grass between him and the end zone, I was hornier than Lauren Boebert at a Beetlejuice musical. We come for your daughter, Chuck. That's right, Casey. It took 2 defensive touchdowns for the Steelers to seal the game. They might have needed 3 if it wasn't for a long passing touchdown to George Pickens. I went back and looked at that play, Casey. You see, the Browns safety bit on a Pat Fryer-Muth crosser, which opened up the middle for Pickens. I have no idea why the Browns safety bit on that, because Muth sucks. He's a non-factor. I mean, you could have had Creed Humphrey twice, but instead you drafted a running back out of Alabama that's as slow as Forrest Gump while he was wearing the leg braces, and a tight end out of Penn State that can't block. But hey, it's cool. You get to see Najee hurdle and stiff arm, and we get to scream move. That's way more important than solidifying the center position. Oh, that's right, we have Mike Webster. I'm sorry, we have Mason Cole. He also sucks. Casey, it feels like 2019 all over again. The defense must play lights out, or close to it, and you pray that the offense can do something with it. The sad part is, this offense, on paper, is much better. I'd hate to go back to 2019, though. We'd have to relive the pandemic. 2 weeks to flatten the curve? More like, it's been 2 weeks and Canada still sucks. The whole offense, minus Pickens, is trash. That preseason Kool-Aid tasted so good, though. But I know this, Casey. We won't get fooled again. Well, Ryan, you're in for a treat. Staying at number 15 this week, here's The Who off their album Who's Next with Won't Get Fooled Again.
I did not see a Lauren Boebert reference coming tonight.
That
Kudos,
Kool-Aid
my
was
friend. Kudos.
refreshing. It really
That was very delicious. Yeah.
I'm really missing that Kool-Aid.
Man.
It was so good. I really liked it.
I have to tell you guys, during my travels last week through Western PA and Ohio and everything else, on Sirius Radio, they actually replay old American Top 40 shows. And so I was listening to one from like 1975, and I think I laughed for like 30 miles straight because I kept picturing Scarps doing the voice. And oh man, that's good stuff. Good stuff. Again, thank you to everybody. We are so appreciative of no, Mark does not love Ohio, Aaron. Appreciative of everybody that jumps on with us every single week. You guys are awesome. And we love everybody that jumps on at your own convenience, whether to watch us on the YouTube or listen to us at your convenience.
The YouTube?
Yeah. But thanks so much. Make sure you visit the site at steelcityblitz.com and, of course, all the social medias and all that stuff. And thanks to Variety Sport Network as well. They do a tremendous job, and they're growing rapidly, so make sure you give them a shout as well. So for these guys, this is me signing off on the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated. And hey, go Steelers.
Ravens suck.
And the Browns are still the